Meet Zoomlock, the 10-second flame-free refrigerant fitting from Parker. Reduce labor costs by 60% with no brazing, no flame, and no fire spotter. Discover how Zoomlock can help you be more efficient and productive. Visit Zoomlock.com for more information.
Welcome back to another episode of Israel HVAC Podcast with me, John Israel. Don't forget to download the podcast on Android using Podcast Addict or Stitcher. If you use Apple products, simply use iTunes. All right, guys, this is John with the Israel HVAC Podcast. I'm sitting here with my lovely wife, Miss Kandace Israel. And basically, she's a little shy. She was a little shy on the last podcast and didn't talk much, so we're going to try to break her of that shyness in this episode. There's no guest on this episode or anything. This is just to test the waters with Kandace. So how you doing, Miss Kandace?
I'm doing good. I'm tired.
You're always tired.
Oh, whatever.
Like most women.
No, I'm tired.
So me and Kandace have been sitting here just kind of shooting the shit, and just talking about different things. And, like I talked about in one episode, Kandace can talk to a wall. But when I turn this mic on, it's like, poof, she just stops. So why is that? Why can't you talk when the mic is on? Pretend like the microphone's not here and just talk and say whatever it is that you want to say. It can't be nasty, though. This is a clean podcast.
Well, see, that's the thing. I'm not always clean.
Well, I know that, but you're going to have to be clean when this mic is on because this is a clean podcast. Now, if we're on a cowboy podcast, that'd be different because that one is explicit, but this one is not. This one is family friendly.
So you can't say no cuss words or nothing?
Not really. I mean, I try to keep the F word out of it completely. Sometimes, and on the Cowboy channel, we don't. On the Cowboy podcast, we don't care. But on this one, I might slip a cuss word here or there, but we definitely keep the F word out of it on this one.
Why? Because
this is a clean podcast.
Well, like families watch it or just guys? Or
you don't watch a podcast, you listen to it.
Well, listen to it, but I mean, I'm sure they don't say, "Oh, come on, Danny, come watch.
It doesn't.
Come listen to the podcast with us, and look, it don't cuss, so you can listen to the whole thing."
Well, no, that's not what it's all about. But why don't we talk about our studio? Don't we have the best studio?
Yeah, we do. It's the closet.
It's the closet.
And it's a hospital blanket as our backdrop.
That's right. And we have a Honeywell fan.
Yeah.
And we have sent several messages to Honeywell to sponsor the podcast, and they will not do it. Tell them, Kandace, what kind of thermostats do I install?
Honeywell only.
Thank you. My fan, our little fan. What is it?
It's a Honeywell.
It's a Honeywell.
Yeah,
Honeywell still won't sponsor the podcast.
I mean, this was at Walmart, and you just said, "Oh, I'm going to buy it because it's Honeywell," or did you just buy it because
I bought it because it was a Honeywell, and I needed a little small fan, and I saw that they had Honeywell, and how can I not buy Honeywell?
Remember the other day whenever the kids spilled Coke on the floor?
Yeah.
And I got in here and I acted like it was a
fort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I could have just slept in here. I mean, with this little fan, it's just so cool.
It's nice and cozy. If you're claustrophobic, you don't want to be in here. And you are a little claustrophobic, but you don't feel claustrophobic, do you?
No, not in here. I mean, because I know there's stuff behind here.
Like and the door's open.
Yeah, and there's, I don't know. I know there's more space back there.
Mm-hmm. It's a nice, cozy, tight spot. I like it. Tight spots are good.
That's what she said.
Kandace, see, now you can't do that on here, okay? We just talked about that. I apologize, everybody. You just can't do that on here, all right? So you got to cut that out. So what do you think we need to do? Should we leave Honeywell alone, or should we just keep pushing them?
Push them.
I've already sent them 6 different messages on Facebook.
Call them.
You know what's funny?
Email them.
You know what's funny though? Every time I send them a message on Facebook, a different person writes me back every time.
Ask them why.
A different person writes me
I want,
back.
like, upper management. I want to talk to them.
Upper management. I'd have to call up there. I'd have to call Honeywell and speak to somebody in marketing.
Yeah, well, why haven't you tried that yet?
I don't know. I've tried to hit a bunch of people for us.
Who else?
I tried to hit CPS, which they make digital manifolds, they make scales, they make all kind of stuff, recovery machines. I've tried to hit Emerson. Honeywell was pissing me off, so I said, well, to hell with it. I'm going to go call Emerson.
Is that the ones that you had thermostats that you put your name on, like the little magnet?
No, those were the Aprilaire. You know, I never thought about contacting Aprilaire.
Why don't you contact Sony? That's what your headphones are.
That has nothing to do with heat and air.
So?
Nothing to do. So I contacted Emerson.
What do they do?
They do all kind of stuff. They're the people that make Copeland scroll compressors, and they have thermostats. They have all kind of stuff, and they never got back to me. I think I contacted Refrigeration Technologies. That's the people that make that Nylog stuff that I like.
They haven't got back to you? Have you tried calling? You need to try. You need to write that down and try to call them.
Yo, I have it all saved on Facebook. So.
What about those little dryers? Who are those made by?
The dryers I use, those are made by
Sporlan.
Sporlan. Yeah. Sporlan is already a sponsor. Thank you so much, Sporlan. We appreciate you. We love you guys.
What about Field Piece?
That we have a thing going on with Field Piece right now with the Cowboy channel. It's like a tool sponsorship. They send us tools. We kind of give them some publicity. Mm-hmm. So that's already a thing going with the Cowboy podcast. So.
Have you heard back from Buddy about one of the giveaway prizes?
No, don't talk about that. We don't tell people about the giveaway until the giveaway. But to answer your question, no, I haven't. But I'll take care of it.
Well, I wasn't going to say...
Yeah, I know, but don't talk about that. That's...
I wasn't going to say what it was. That's what I said,
okay. Well, basically, prize. I have Ari Michael. They have a tool that's been sitting on the shelf for like 3 years that you guys would love for the Cowboys giveaway. And I'm waiting on the buddy, the outside sales rep. He's supposed to check into it and see about like a swag thing. You know, since it's been sitting on the shelf for so long, will Ari Michael allow him just to give me the tool, or will they sell it to me like really, really cheap? So we'll see what happens. I mean,
I knew not to say what the surprise was. That's why I said the giveaway.
Well, hopefully they'll give it to me, since I am giving it away, and he knows all it.
He said he was going to contact you Monday, and he hadn't contacted you. So if I was you tomorrow morning, I'd contact him and see what he's found out, or maybe he forgot.
Knowing Buddy, he probably forgot.
Yeah, because he told you that on a Friday.
He's very bad about that.
He told you that on a Friday.
Yeah, he's bad. He's very, very forgetful. But that's okay. We still love you, Buddy. But Buddy is good to us when we need something. So, yeah, you know, Kandace, she knows all the guys at the supply house. When we walk in the supply house, they all say, "Hey, it's John and Kandace, John and Kandace."
Yeah,
so,
and I love to go to
Acme
on Fridays
days because
they have glazed donuts.
Acme
every Friday. So if we go on a Friday, I'm like, ooh yeah, I'm getting out the truck because I'm getting me a donut.
Shout out to Acme Refrigeration. That's a Louisiana-based supply house. That's where I buy my comfort maker and and they also do Ream. Every Friday morning, Kandace is like, "Hey, we going to Acme this morning?" "Yes, Kandace, we will go to Acme this morning. Even if we don't need anything, we're going to go to Acme so you can get a donut." Yeah. Kandace gets her donut, and you know, most of the time I find something that I need, or I can check up on an order or whatever. But sometimes I go in there and I don't need anything. Kandace just wants a damn donut, so I'll just go in there and let Kandace get her donut, and then I'll shoot the shit with the guys, and I'll get me a couple donuts too.
And then I'll look at the Louisiana Help. What is it? Sin-Law Wanted.
Oh yeah, we have a magazine, like a little newspaper deal that comes out over here every Wednesday of all the arrests made in Rapides Parish, which is where we live, and in the Voiles Parish, which is a parish over, and in Grant Parish, which is another parish over,
and LaSalle Parish,
and in LaSalle Parish, which is it's kind of far from us, but it's still local, but still a pretty good ways away from us. And I
look at that every week.
Yeah, Acme,
every Friday.
Acme always has the new updated one, so we'll go in there on Friday mornings, eat our donuts, shoot the shit with the guys at the supply house, and Kandace will read the newspaper.
Show you everybody that we know in there.
Of the people that got locked up. And sadly, we know a lot of the people that did get locked up in the paper almost every week. Yeah, you know, they put their mug shot in there. They put their what they did. You know, drugs.
Some of them
whatever.
Too many to list.
Yeah, you know, DWI, whatever it was, it's in there, and your name's in there. So, yeah, they pretty much single you out on that right there.
Luckily, we have never been in there. Neither one of us.
No, but I remember last week when we looked at it, I was like, oh, yep, know him. Went to school with him. Know her.
Yeah.
So.
And then one of your best buddies was in there.
A guy that I grew up with. Shoot, man, probably from the time since pre-K or maybe before that. Yeah. Was in there, and it just shocked me. You know, it was like, man, I can't believe, you know, you just never know how people are going to turn out, I guess. He was in there for drugs and contempt of court and all kind of stuff. Weapons, yeah, all kind of stuff.
Yeah, but, you know, we saw on Facebook a couple of weeks ago that he had ran away from home or something. His mom was looking for him, remember? And we were like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, he's really changed. I mean, even by his photo, he used to be kind of chunky, and now he's skinny as a rail, so we know what that means, more than likely.
Yep, but we're not going to go into the drug business here on the podcast, but...
No, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, but, so, you know, we do stuff like that, and then, you know, Kandace rides with me on my service calls most of the time, unless she has other stuff that needs to be done for us. She's pretty much in the truck with me. And guys, while I'm looking at it, I'm looking at the Sporlan Pro R tool. I have not tried that tool out yet. I actually need to put it in my truck. It's still sitting here in the studio. So Kandace, if you would, after we get done doing this, before we get ready to interview old Greg Fox, I need to put that in the truck. I need to try that tool out, because we're supposed to give it away on a cowboy giveaway, but I can't give it away until I do a YouTube review. That's a Sporlan tool. Sporlan wants me to do a YouTube review on that tool. Zach already did his. Zach had the tool, and Zach sent it to me. Now I have to do a review on it. So we need to try to use that the rest of the week. I need to try to use it a few times.
And what is that? The same thing that Zach's? You said
Zach had this. He had these right here. He sent that to me, and those are gauges.
Oh,
to check your refrigerant charge. But see, you have to hook it up. You have to do on your phone. It tells you the pressures, superheat, and all that on your phone. It's Bluetooth.
Okay.
So we need to put that in the truck.
What about that black and red thing? Is that?
Yeah, these two right here. Right. That's where you screw them onto the valves, gives you your pressure, and then these two, you got to clamp them onto the pipes, and that gives you your temperatures and your superheat and your subcooling. I need to put that in the truck, and when we go on a service call, you need to remind me to use that tool and do a video on it.
Okay.
So that we can give it away, because I know some of the guys are anxiously awaiting for that giveaway right there, because that's a very expensive tool.
Okay, and what about that tool bag that you were supposed to make a video on? That?
Yeah, I got to do a video.
That you said you didn't like it. You did.
Shh! Don't say that. That's what the video's for.
Oh.
Yeah, I have to do a review on the Vito OTMC bag. Kandace has already spoiled it, but we're not going to get into it. Don't say nothing else. We're not going to get into it. I will do a video on the OTMC very soon. I'm probably going to go ahead and upload this podcast now. This is Tuesday night. Tuesday night is my interview night, that I interview a YouTuber or a trade student or somebody fresh out of trade school, and then I release it on Thursday. But I kind of wanted to do a little podcast here to get Kandace out of her shell. Because, see, Kandace doesn't do the interviews with me. I do the interviews alone with these guys.
But I should try, because I am very good at talking to people.
No, you are good at talking. But the interview, you don't, I mean, like you said, you don't know what we're talking about and all that.
No,
but I really
just like to ask some questions.
Well,
I mean, just ask them and like they just answer them. Like,
but I do enjoy having you in the opening. That I really do enjoy having you in the opening.
But I do know a lot of stuff y'all are talking about. But whenever y'all start talking about letters and numbers and stuff,
well, yeah, and that's where this is going to get out of hand. Now, if you want to sit in and listen, that's great. But you know, the interviews, I just. You know, you said you didn't want to do it, so I've based it around you not doing it. But I do want you in the opening. But I wanted to do this podcast, and I'm going to release this podcast. I'm going to upload it. I want everybody to hear it, because a lot of the guys listened to the last podcast when I interviewed Cannon, and they said that they really liked you being in there with me, but they just felt like that you needed to talk a little more, and you were probably a little shy. So I wanted to do this podcast to just kind of get you out of your shell, because God, can't believe me, people, Kandace can talk. I think she has came out of her shell on this podcast right here, because she's talked quite a bit. She's talked a lot on this podcast right here, and she's laughing. So I think this might have did it. I think this might have broke Kandace out of her shell, and hopefully our openings will be much better now on the podcast.
Well, yeah, I mean, I talk to every customer, so you can shoot videos for these people to watch.
I understand that, but
when we do these to the customer, it doesn't matter what we talk about. We always find something to talk about, and I just keep talking to them until you're done.
You do a very good job too. But see, like you're doing good right now. You know, you just have to pretend. I know we're sitting here at a desk in the closet, and we got a computer in front of us, you know, and we got the big microphone in front of us, but you just got to pretend that none of that's there, and you just got to talk, because God knows you're the queen of talking. If there was a game show that said we're going to give the way you win this is by who can talk the most, we would win the car. We would win the damn car, or we'd win the $1 million or whatever it is. If they ever come out with a game show that says you have to talk more than anyone to win, damn it, I will no longer be podcasting for you guys. I will no longer be doing HVAC, because I'm going to put Kandace on that game show, and we're going to win the $1 million, and we're going to be millionaires, because there is nobody that can out-talk Kandace. Kandace can out-talk them all. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and shut this podcast down. Like I said, this was just a spur-of-the-moment thing. This is, you know, there's no guest on here, nothing like that. This is just kind of trying to break Kandace out of her shell and not be so shy.
I have a question.
Oh, Lord.
Before you close it.
She's a woman. She has a question. Imagine that.
Well, no, I just have to tell you something.
So you have a statement.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is, why can't we interview somebody that, you know, like Greg Fox, that knows stuff about it? I mean, I don't want to do like new little kids that come out of school or whatever, but somebody like that, and include me in it and see how it goes. Just like I'll write some you tell me some questions to write down, and I'll ask them, and then that's it.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll talk about that, and we'll work on that. But don't make fun of the kids coming out of trade school.
Well, no, I'm not making fun of them, but I'm just like, I don't, you know, I mean, they don't really know. So if you would like say I'd read some of these questions, they'd be like, yeah, we didn't learn that, or
well, yeah, but that's a whole different ball game, though. But
I mean, you would probably have to do the questions if we did, you know, a guy out of trade school, because I mean, I really don't know what to ask. Cause I mean, I know every trade school's different. Just like that little guy said, he learned, what was his name, Andrew? He learned different stuff than what they teach over here. So every trade school's different, so we wouldn't really know what to ask.
Yeah. Well, we'll figure something out to get you involved, to get you more involved in it. But I had a good time recording this with you, and you did a really good job, so thank you for joining me.
Well, you're welcome.
All right, guys, thank y'all for listening. I appreciate you listening to the podcast. Be ready this Thursday, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. Interview with Greg Fox from Fox Family Heating and Air.
Sporlan Smart Pro R service tools are specifically developed to meet the needs of refrigeration technicians. All the benefits of our original kit, plus the Smart Pro R tools allow temperature readings down to minus 40 degrees, fit any diameter pipe, allow multi-coil superheat readings, and 10 times the signal strength. Find out more at sporlanonline.com.